If you bought a house between 2023 and now, today might be your best chance to refinance. Let's talk about the rates and what's going on this week in the Seattle Market Watch. Hey there, it's Brennen Clouse. This is your Seattle Market Watch. Today is February 19th, Thursday. And if you bought a house between 2023 and today, now is most likely going to be one of the best times for you to refinance. Now is when it might make sense because we have seen rates come down quite a bit. We're actually helping a few clients right now refinance their rate so they can save anywhere from $300 to like $500 a month on their mortgage payment. There are a lot of different options out there, and the rates, while they're still a little bit volatile, they are doing well enough that it might make sense to refinance if you haven't thought about it before. If you are thinking about refinancing and you want to talk about what those numbers look like, you can always reach out or book a discovery call at the link below, where we can talk about your current rate and what some options will be for you if you do want to think about that refinance option to get a lower monthly payment. Now, let's dive into what the numbers say for the mortgage rates this week. Right now, the 30-year fixed is at 6.05. The 15-year fixed is at 5.62%. The 30-year jumbo is at 6.29%, and then the 30-year FHA and VA are at 5.65 and 5.67 respectively. So we have seen a little bit of volatility in the rate going in these past few weeks. I think yesterday it was all the way up to 6.2. Today it's down to 6.05. So we're not seeing anything really steady or consistent. Last Monday it was at 6.11. So it is a little bit of a volatile rate right now. Anywhere between 6 and 6.2 is what I've primarily seen. But the good news is that this is a lot better than what we saw a year ago. A year ago, we were in the 7s. It was a little bit more difficult to purchase. And so now this feels good that we're at this point where it's coming down, and we hope that it could come down a little bit more. Now, as far as what's going on in the market in Seattle, the market is all over the place depending on what type of home you're looking for. So this week, my whole thing that I'm talking about is the sub-market. What sub-market are you searching in? If you're searching for new construction homes, there's a lot of inventory, and you have the ability to really negotiate and get a lot of great incentives from builders. So if you do want a new home and you're thinking about buying this year, this is probably the time to go forward and get the best incentive you could get. When you're looking at condos, similar situation. There's a lot of inventory. You can really negotiate with sellers on condos, but not as good as new construction homes. And then if you're looking for single family homes, especially in great neighborhoods like Ballard or Green Lake, you're going to have a harder time because there's a little bit of supply there. So there's much less supply there, and there's still a lot of demand. So it could be just as competitive as it was back in COVID. So keep that in mind. Let's talk about the stats for the past 7 days in terms of condos. This week we saw 23 additional listings come on the market from last week. So 201 new condo listings. Pending listings or condos under contract is at down 9 at 171. Still, the pending listings are not as high as the new listings. And then the sold listings are up 7 at 78 from last week, up 7 there. So overall, we see pretty steady with condos. We're not seeing a big influx of condos. 201 in 7 days is not a huge amount. Again, condos are sitting, so there is a pretty big supply on the market, and we're not seeing these get bought up as quickly as they're coming on the market by the buyers. Now, when we turn our attention to residential this week, we saw a few larger numbers. We saw 60 new listings week over week at 438 new residential listings. We saw pending listings up by 12 at 438 also. So exactly the number going under contract as coming on the market in the past 7 days, and sold listings up by 48 at 234. So really interesting here. We have seen an increase, 438 new listings in 1 week. That's not a huge influx for what we would expect going into spring, but it is building week over week. And I expect that it will continue to build like that week over week. As far as pending listings, seeing that 438 went under contract, the same amount that is newly listed in 7 days is pretty incredible, but it also just shows that the number of buyers out there are keeping up with residential listings. And that's primarily driven by single family homes, not necessarily the townhomes, which are included in this number. So that's all to say, if you're thinking about refinance, reach out, let's book a discovery call. You could also text or email me to set that up if you'd like to. And if you're thinking about a plan for buying this year, let's also talk through that on a free discovery call so that you can learn what your submarket is doing. If you're looking at single family homes or townhomes or condos or brand new construction, what's happening in that submarket and what do you need to be aware of? And if you're thinking about selling this year, now's the time to prepare. It's never too early to prepare to get your home sold. So reach out and we can talk about that as well. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next time.
That is the cold boy. Gene.